Good morning to all of you. Today we will be revising the lesson, A Little Fish Story. Okay, as the title of the story suggests, this lesson is about a fish which is very small. That is why the title, A Little Fish Story. Okay, so first I will read the lesson and explain to you roughly, children, and then we will discuss a few questions. After this class, I will be sending you a Google form, which I want everyone to complete, because the marks of the Google form will be counted for subject enrichment. Is that clear? Please nod your head if you understand. Otherwise, raise your thumb. Okay? Okay, good. Now let's get started, children. Pay attention while I read. Okay? A Little Fish Story. There are a great many million fish in the seas, but this story is about just one of them, and a very small one at that. So in the introduction, it is said that in the sea, you will find millions of fish, isn't it? But this particular story, titled A Little Fish Story, is about just one of that fish. Okay, so let's see what happens to the fish here. Now, this little fish had everything in the seas to make him contented, but he was not happy. You will laugh when I tell you why he was not. He was unhappy because he was so very small. So here it is said that the little fish, if he wanted to be happy, he could be happy because there was everything in the sea where he lived. But he was not happy. And why was he not happy? He was not happy because he was very small. Can you give me another word for very small? Yes, children? Can anyone help me out?
Very little.
Very little. Little. Very good. Little. Otherwise, tiny. Isn't it? Yes. So the fish was unhappy because it was very small or little or tiny. Moving on to the third paragraph, it is very hard to be such a little mite of a fish. He would say over and over again, if I were only larger, how much happier I would be. And he said it so many times that I think he believed it. So what would the fish keep saying? I am very small. If I were bigger, larger, I would be happier. He would say this always. And finally, he started believing that he could be happy only if he were bigger or larger. One day, he was swimming along with the rest of his school and thinking, no doubt, how much more the larger fish had to be thankful for than he, when suddenly, with no warning, they found themselves in the meshes of a great net. So one day he was swimming along with his friends. We give group names to animals that move in one direction. Okay, so here a group of fish which move in one direction are called as school. So here the word school does not mean your school. Here it is a group name for a group of fish. Okay, so here one day the little fish having some fun with his friends. And what was he thinking? See, all these larger fishes are happy and thankful because God has made them bigger and larger. As he was thinking this, something happens. Suddenly, they were captured in a net. So some sailor had put a net to catch the fish. So as the fish were enjoying in the water, they were trapped in the meshes of great net. Now, what is a mesh, children? Mesh is a network of wire. You have seen nets, isn't it? Just look here, how the fish is trapped in the net. So this network of wires going crisscross is called mesh. So the little fish, along with his friends, got trapped in the net. There was so much floundering and splashing. Floundering means what? Struggling. Yes, struggling to escape. So there was much floundering and splashing of water as the net was drawn up out of the water into the sunlight. And just as its hull was being Moving on to the next page, children. Emptied into the boat, the smallest fish in the school wriggled through the mesh and slipped back into the cool, clear water. How good it felt! But then, as the haul or as the net containing all the fish was pulled up into the ship, what happened? Our little fish, because he was small in size, he wriggled. Wriggled means what? Twist and turn. He wriggled and then immediately fell out from the net into the sea. And how did he feel? He felt happy. The smallest fish in the school wriggled through the mesh and slipped back into the cool, clear water. How good it felt. Now the little fish is happy, isn't it? Why is he happy? Because of his small size, he was able to wriggle his way out of the net. Now the last paragraph, children. He swam here and there and everywhere. And some of the fish who knew him well all the rest of his life said that they never again heard him say that he wished to be anything but a little fish. So then what did the fish do? The little fish was so happy that he swam everywhere. He went here, there, everywhere in joy. And his friends who knew him for a long time never heard him complain about being small any longer. From that day on, the little fish was no longer unhappy because he was small. Instead, he was thankful to God for having made him small. That was the reason why he could escape from the net. So this is the story, children. And the writer of the story is Enos B. Comstock. Now, can anyone tell me the moral of the story? Okay, let me help you then. Okay. So the moral of the story here is that never complain of what you are. Always be thankful to God for what he has given you. Okay, just by seeing others, never ruin your life. Never keep complaining. Okay, we must appreciate what we are. Right? This is the story, children. Let us go through the question answers. How many fish are there in the sea? Go to the first paragraph and tell me, children, how many fish are there?
Million.
There are
Million.
yes,
Fish
there
million
are
in the
very
sea.
many
The sea.
fish in the seas. You know the answer, no?
Yes.
Yes. Now, what is the next question? Oh, it's not seen here. Could anyone read out for teacher?
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Why was the little fish unhappy?
Yes. Why was the little fish unhappy? Look at this small
Little
paragraph.
fish was unhappy because it was very small or
Yes.
tiny.
Oh, very good.
So very small.
The little fish was unhappy because he was small or tiny or little. Clear? Soma Vidiknya, could you read out the third question for teacher?
What happened to the one day?
The fish one day.
Yes, one day what happened to the fish, Soma Vidiknya? Could you help me?
The fish was stuck into a great
Net.
net.
Yes, very good. Thank you so much, Soma Vidiknya. One day, the fish got caught in a big net while he was swimming along with his friends. So now if I ask you a question, Dharvik, could you answer me? Where did the fish live? Where did the little fish live? Yes.
Little fish lives
In the sea. Yes. Thank you so much, children. Now, what is the last question, children? Could any one of you read it for me?
What was the fish thankful to be a small fish?
Yes. Why
a little fish.
was he thankful to be a little fish? The fish was thankful to be little because it was able to escape from the net only because of his small size. If he were big, could he wriggle out of the net? If
No.
Now let me show you the Google form. Now, see, this is the Google form teacher is going to send.
Ma'am, this is Google form.
Yeah, I will be sending this Google form to you, children. What should you do? Can you see this Google form, children?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah. So first you need to write name of the student. So your name you have to write. How do you write your name? You begin with capital letter. So after writing your name, here there is a paragraph from the story that we learn now. Read the given passage and answer the following question. There are disease, but this story is about just one of them, and a very small one at that. Now this little fish had everything in the seas to make him contented, but he was not happy. You will laugh when I tell you why he was not. He was unhappy because he was so very small. Now this is the paragraph given from the lesson. Okay. Now based on this paragraph, I have given you a few questions. You need to pick the correct answer. Okay. Either will I say nor will you say. Okay. Rishi, please put your legs down now. Sit properly. Rishi, very good. Thank you so much, Rishi. Now, how many fish are there in the sea? There are 3 options. There are 100 fish in the sea. There are many millions of fish in the sea. There are no fish in the sea. You have to go through all the 3 options and pick the correct one. Blessy, please listen here. Stop listening to others. Yes. Second question is, this story is about a dash. There are 2 options given here, children. A very small fish, a very big fish. So you have to pick one option. Okay. Next one is, who was unhappy? The turtle was unhappy. The octopus was unhappy. The little fish was unhappy. You all know the answer, isn't it?
The little fish were
Yes, but
unhappy.
don't say now. Okay. When I give you the Google form, you will have to fill it. Now the 4th question is, where did the little fish live? Yes, children. The little fish lived in the sea. The little fish lived in the river.
Water.
The little fish lived in the pond. So out of these 3 options, you have to pick the correct answer.
See.
Oh, don't say the answers now. Why was the fish unhappy? The fish was unhappy because he was very big. The fish was unhappy because he was very small. Now you know, children, which is the correct answer, isn't it? Next one. What is the meaning of the word little? Big or tiny? Now you know the answer for that question also, isn't it? Then write the opposite of the word happy. What is an opposite, children? Yes, can anyone tell me what?
Sad.
Don't tell me the answer. You all know what an opposite is. Very good. Opposites are also called as antonyms. Okay. So, what is the opposite of day?
Night.
Night. Rishi,
Night.
whatever is in your mouth, please take it out. Okay. Thank you. Day, night. Then, what is the opposite of sit?
Stand. Stand,
Stand.
ma'am.
Yes,
Stand.
stand. Very good. Then, what is the opposite of tall?
Short.
Tall.
Small.
Yes. Now, if I say big, what is the opposite of big?
Small. Small.
Excellent. My children, you are all very good at this. I didn't expect 3B children to be so smart, you know. Now, I want you to pay attention to the 7th and 8th question. I have not given options. You will have to write your answer there. Okay. Now, write the opposite of the word laugh. Okay. You will have to write the opposite of the word laugh. Now, after doing this Google form, what should you do? Here, can you see the submit button, children? Can you see this submit button? Yes. So after you have filled the Google form, you need to hit the submit button. Only then your sheets will come to me. Okay. Now, why do you need to do this? This is important because the marks of this Google form will be considered for subject enrichment. So, please do this. Okay, children? So, after this class, I will be sending you the Google form. It will only take 2 minutes for you. Do it. Okay. So thank you so much, children. Bye-bye.